Guys, who would you rather bang? Now, what's the major difference between these two? You guessed it, the second two, these two, eat meat. Now, I'm sure you've all heard the statement that eating a vegetarian diet is good for your health, and I'm sure you probably assume that this statement is true, whether or not you choose to follow it. Although only 5% of Americans, according to a Gallup survey conducted in 2012, consider themselves to be vegetarian, which is eating plant foods, milk products sometimes, and eggs. 10% or 22.8 million Americans say they follow a vegetarian inclined diet, which means eating as little meat as possible compared to the average person. Additionally, there's vegans. They don't eat any animal products whatsoever and are an even smaller group. More than half of all non-meat eaters cite the main reason for choosing this diet and lifestyle is for improved health. Now, I'm not an expert per se, but I have extensively researched the subject of nutrition in an attempt to further my own understanding of health, and have found that a vegetarian diet is not as good for you as we are led to believe. So I'll discuss the evolution of our diet and why limiting yourself to just plants can be devastating. Let me explain. I like to analyze things in terms of how we as a species evolved, because this should show us what we are genetically designed to eat. If we go back and look at the diets of our Paleolithic ancestors, as Lauren Cordain did in a comprehensive study of 229 hunter-gatherer diets, we find 0 instances of vegetarianism. In fact, 73% of the diets studied consumed at least 46% of their calories from animal products. It makes sense. They just happen to know that animal products give you the most bang for your buck in terms of calories and nutrients. So if none of our ancestors were vegetarians and they always preferred animals for food, how can we argue that avoiding all animal products will make us healthier? Let's look at the difference between animal and plant-based diets. The American Dietetic Association, or the ADA, explains that a vegetarian diet can meet nutrient recommendations, but that supplementation is often necessary. This statement alone should raise a red flag, and that maybe you shouldn't be eating a diet that requires supplementation of additional nutrients. Let's talk about B12. Vitamin B12 provides normal functioning of the brain and nervous system, as well as formation of blood. In Lauren Cordain's book, he cites a study conducted in 2003 that found 92% of vegans and 77% of vegetarians to be deficient in vitamin B12. This deficiency is due to the fact that plant foods do not contain any B12, and our bodies can't make their own B12, so we have to get B12 from animals. So for vegetarians to avoid this deficiency, they have to supplement. Even the slightest deficiency of B12 can lead to fatigue, depression, and poor memory, and symptoms of mania and psychosis. A B12 deficiency during pregnancy can be passed on to the fetus and cause spontaneous abortion, premature delivery, birth defects, malformations, retardation, etc. Another one is iron. An iron deficiency is also a concern. It's required for the production of red blood cells and helps to convert blood sugar into energy. It plays an important role in the immune system as well. Dr. Cordain points out that an iron deficiency or borderline iron deficiency was found in virtually all epidemiological studies done on vegetarians. What's more, vegetarians are also typically deficient in iodine, vitamin D, vitamin B6, taurine, and omega-3 fatty acids. Not only are vegetarians deficient in many essential nutrients, their lack of variety of foods and excessive dependence on certain vegetables or vegetarian staples can lead to unintended consequences. Let's look at one man's testimony. For James Price, these unintended consequences were breast development, hair loss from his face, arms, chest, and legs, loss of libido, and emotional changes. Basically, he was turning into a woman. The culprit is soy milk. He was consuming about 3 quarts of soy milk a day. Soy contains plant-based estrogens that wreak havoc on one's hormonal balance. A recent Harvard study found a strong association between a men's consumption of soy and decreased sperm counts. Now, if that doesn't scare you away from soy products, I don't know what will. I'm not trying to say that all plant foods are bad and that all animal foods are good, and I'm not trying to argue against your religious or ethical beliefs that may dictate certain aspects of your diet. What I am trying to say is that if you're going to limit yourself to a certain set of foods, base your decision on facts and not on what's popular. Only with a substantial amount of animal products in your diet will you be able to reach your true physical and mental potential. Our ancestors figured this out long ago. So next time you're faced with a decision of meat or no meat, make an informed decision. Switch out the tofu or the veggie burger for some chicken, fish, or lean grass-fed meat. This girl here did that.